servant. Just work for me from now on. Mia clutched his aching arm and hesitantly replied, I will. From now on I will wear glasses. The eyes you praised as beautiful will be seen only by you. His words made the princess stop in her tracks, her cheeks flushing red. Then, Martina turned and walked straight inside, stuttering, Fine, have it your way. But I'm gonna work you to the bone from now on, Mia replied. I will absolutely obey your highness's command, and with that, he began to follow the princess. From that day until today, returning to the present, on the way back to her chambers, Mia asked the princess, Your Highness, what do you plan to do next? The Crown Prince's power is immense, and he has contracts with a great number of mages. But according to my investigation, the mages contracted to him are only mid-level mages. If you could form a contract with a high-level mage, it would surely boost your reputation. Yes, Martina agreed with him. I think so too. I must find a powerful mage to be my aide. Otherwise, Miafield could use magic to harm Lily at any moment. She suddenly gave a mysterious smile and said, But I don't want to find a high-level mage. The one I want to find now is a future legendary-level mage. Yes, a few days later, Martina was searching everywhere for Lily. Where are you, sweetie? Mommy has to go out, so play with Mia today, okay? Lily, are you in your room? Through a crack in the door, Lily peeked out with bright eyes, then suddenly jumped out. Mommy, I'm here! Lily tackled her in a hug, making them fall to the ground. The little girl whined while clinging to Martina's hair. I want to play with Mommy. Martina had to refuse. Mommy wants to play with you too, but Mommy has something important to do today. Congratulations, what a sweet predicament. You can feed it more energy, so the sacred beast can grow faster. She promised Lily, Mommy will bring back a toy for you. Mia took the little girl in his arms. Please go on ahead without worry. Your Highness, I will take care of the sacred beast. Lily got excited. A toy! I want a new toy. Martina shared the purpose of her trip. Today I'm going to pay a visit to the mages, and if I can successfully form a contract, Lily won't have to be afraid of magic anymore. She waved goodbye. I'll be going then. He watched Martina's retreating figure. I wish you success, Your Highness. It seemed the little girl had noticed something, as Lily softly called out to Mia. Mia replied calmly. What is it? The little girl asked curiously. Do you really want to go with my mommy? He didn't understand what Lily meant. Why do you ask that? She waved goodbye. I'll be going then. He watched Martina's retreating figure. I wish you success, Your Highness. Today I'm going to pay a visit to the mages, and if I can successfully form a contract, Lily won't have to be afraid of magic anymore. I am not in a position to ask for more, Mia then suggested. What does Lily want to play today? Shall we draw together? The little girl tossed her crayons in the air. I love drawing. At the inn, Lainey arrived to report, Your Highness, the innkeeper says that Mercenary is no longer staying here. Martina was dumbfounded. That's strange. I clearly sent someone with a letter for him yesterday, so that he could accompany me to the Mage Tower today. She didn't dwell on it for long. If he's not here, then let's just go. Lily obeyed Martina's command. Yes, Your Highness. She felt a pang of disappointment. Rian's sudden disappearance is suspicious. I was originally going to ask him for one more sincere kiss to help Lily grow a little more. Surely Ryan wouldn't just be momentarily confused, and after a night's sleep he would regret being loyal to a demoness like me, right? Martina couldn't help but worry, but she had already sent a visiting request to the Mage Tower. I'll just have to find Ryan later. That legendary future Archmage, Phoenix, is still just an ordinary student for now. At the Mage Tower, he's a commoner by birth and was completely unremarkable as a student. Many years later, in his memoirs, Phoenix mentioned that today was the day he was framed by other students and got expelled from the Mage Tower. At the Mage Tower, a magic instructor was yelling at Phoenix. Is this your assignment? The task was to freeze something, but what on earth did you freeze? A fly, he sneered. Does a piece of trash like you even deserve to study at the Mage Tower? Huh? Phoenix calmly stated the truth. I submitted a fire elemental. Someone switched my assignment, but the magic instructor flatly dismissed it. Are you saying your noble classmates switched assignments with a commoner? Like you? The noble students in the class smirked smugly, and the blonde-haired boy spoke up. Professor, the very parchment he used was just some scrap we threw away. Why would a noble ever steal from him? The brown-haired boy chimed in. He has to scrounge through the trash just to do his homework and work in the kitchens to afford a uniform. Why is someone like him even learning magic? Does he think learning the same things as us nobles means he's on our level? Or something? The magic instructor cut him off. Phoenix, the Mage Tower, will not tolerate a dishonest student like you. I told you before, if you messed up again, you would be expelled from the Mage Tower. As of today, you are no longer a student here. Phoenix was truly disappointed in this place. Fine. With a serious expression, he burned the paper in his hand and made a vow. Even if I can no longer study at the Mage Tower, I will continue to learn magic. I will create a kind of magic that none of you have ever seen before. The magic instructor took this as an insult to the tower. How arrogant. The Mage Tower is the pinnacle of magic. Now go pack your bags. This place doesn't belong to you. Just then, another instructor knocked on the door and whispered something in his ear. He froze on the spot. The magic instructor stopped him from leaving. Phoenix, wait a moment. A noble guest has made a proposition to the Mage Tower. She wishes to sponsor you. The ceiling of the Mage Tower was plainly decorated. The magic instructor gave Phoenix a special warning. This guest is of very high nobility, so you absolutely must not say anything. Foolish, that might offend her. But Phoenix wasn't the least bit nervous. I don't even know who this guest is. He froze for 5 seconds. Martina smiled brightly when she saw Phoenix. Hello, I am Martina Moran, Princess of the Sixth Empire. The magic instructor greeted Martina warmly. Your Highness, this is Phoenix. But there are many other students in the Mage Tower far more deserving of your sponsorship than he is. He has violated the rules of the Mage Tower 3 consecutive times, and even stole from other noble students, so if your highness sponsors him, it could harm your reputation. However, Phoenix let out a scornful smirk after hearing the man's fabrications. He offered a classic example to defend himself. That's right, I stole young Master Edelman's homework, but an assignment with a score of 23. I really don't know what I'd steal it for. The magic instructor tried to shut him down. Don't talk nonsense, you have no right to insult a noble. Martina had already found out that on this very day in her past life, Phoenix was in fact expelled from the Mage Tower. He returned to an ordinary life in his hometown, a place with no magical materials and no guidance from professors. But he never gave up on magic, using materials from the fields to practice, and magic in turn did not give up on him. Phoenix used magic to control a bird, and even she was surprised. He had invented so many new spells, which left the Mage Tower in awe. Filled with regret, the Mage Tower sent an invitation for Phoenix to return. Even though he could practice magic in the countryside, it was extremely difficult. If I can help Phoenix stay at the Mage Tower, with me backing him, he will definitely become a genius even faster. Martina made an excuse to politely dismiss the magic instructor. Could you leave me alone with him for a moment? He immediately agreed. Yes, your highness. Phoenix, watch your words. In the splendid room, only Martina and Phoenix remained. He turned his gaze to her. Martina personally assured him, I will pay for all of your academic expenses at the Mage Tower. If you have any trouble at all, you can come to me. I don't want to hear their opinions. I just want to ask you, she moved closer to Phoenix, will you allow me to be your sponsor? He lowered his head without saying a word. Martina panicked when she saw Phoenix grabbing his robe. Huh? Why are you taking your clothes off? She didn't dare to turn back and look. Wait, hold on. Do you think I want that kind of relationship with students? I don't think that way at all, so put your clothes back on quickly. He then explained his reason for undressing. I just wanted your highness to see what my previous sponsor did to me. Only then did Martina's eyes widen to get a better look. She noticed something was wrong. Did that person beat you? Phoenix recounted what happened. He was a viscount, who held a deep-seated grudge against magic. He wanted to have a mage as a servant. He calmly faced his painful past. But most mages come from noble backgrounds, so they couldn't be his slaves. As it happened, I was a student learning magic, from a rare commoner background. He said he wanted to sponsor me, and in return, I had to be subservient to him. But every time I used magic, he would torture me mercilessly. Phoenix took Martina's hand. Your highness, I must ask, will you treat me that way too? He placed her hand over his heart. Martina could understand how Phoenix felt. He couldn't bring himself to trust her, but he was also desperate for her sponsorship. He was like a stray cat that had suffered immensely, wanting to rely on a human, but was too afraid to get close. At this rate, the only way was to use a fake mouse to lure him in. Martina grabbed his collar tightly. I know you won't believe anything I say, so let's do this instead. Every time you complete a goal, I'll sponsor your studies for 1 year, and your first goal will be to research a compact, portable magic heat source. But Phoenix was bewildered. That kind of power hasn't been invented yet, so how do you know what I'm researching? But I don't have enough magical materials, so I had to stop my research. She always cared about the people around her. This winter is brutally cold, and many people in your hometown have frozen to death. I was thinking the same thing. I am the princess of this empire, and I want my people to make it through this winter warmly. Will you agree to continue this magical research? But he didn't know how to respond. Phoenix seemed to turn into a little kitten. Then, will you provide me with the magical materials? The other students also threw out my belongings. Could I possibly move into a single dorm room? I'm sorry, I feel like I'm asking for too much. But Martina was confident in her abilities. I'm the Empire's infamous villainess. There's nothing I can't do. She turned and winked at him. Phoenix asked to be of service to Martina. I'm also the problem student the professor hates most, so please let me stay by your side. He took a small step forward, wanting to prove himself through his actions. Your Highness, I believe I've heard that kissing the back of a hand. Will you agree to continue this magical research? But he didn't know how to respond. Phoenix seemed to turn into a little kitten. Martina didn't expect him to take the initiative. He was just like a cat. Could it be? This time. I can get a sincere kiss this easily? Phoenix closed his eyes to kiss the back of her hand, then he gently lifted it. He then placed his lips upon it, leaving a very gentle kiss. The prophet's consciousness immediately showed a progress bar. Phoenix had met the condition to be a pillar of the Empire, but the box for loyalty still showed an X. Martina frowned as she looked at it. Phoenix has no loyalty? Was that sincerity just now all an act for my benefit? Is this future archmage actually a genius actor? The corner of her mouth quirked up. How interesting, Phoenix asked shyly and hesitantly. Your Highness, in the future, can I use your name to request research materials? As he spoke, a pair of hands suddenly grabbed him by the collar. Ryan lifted Phoenix into the air and growled, absolutely not. Seeing him, Martina was completely surprised. Ryan, why are you only just now getting here? Where were you when I went to the inn to look for you? But Phoenix broke free from his grasp and leaped backward. Ryan cautiously drew his sword, pointing it at him. He's dangerous. If you let him stay by your side, you will definitely be in danger. Just give the word, and I will eliminate him for you immediately. Across from them, Phoenix let out a cold snort and began to cast a spell. Purple mana danced in his palm as Martina watched silently, her mind filled with questions. Right now, Phoenix is just an ordinary magic student. Even the professors at the Mage Tower haven't discovered his talent. How could Ryan know that? Could this be some kind of intuition between the pillars of the Empire? Like the natural defensiveness between powerful beasts? Seeing her hesitate to speak, Ryan lost his patience and raised his sword. If you can't bring yourself to do it, then leave it to me. The sharp blade pressed against Phoenix's neck, scaring the daylights out of him. Just then, Martina suddenly yelled, "Both of you, stop!" They both turned to look at her, bewildered. Martina reminded them sternly, "Those who are loyal to me are my subjects. Unless I give you permission, no one is to act on their own." Hearing this, Phoenix withdrew his magic, putting on a pitiful expression. "I'm sorry, Your Highness, I was just so scared." She walked over and pulled him away. "Phoenix, come with me. I will discuss sponsorship with your professor, and I'll arrange for a change of dormitories. And research materials. Do you need anything else?" He smiled brightly and shook his head. "No. Having research materials is enough." Martina then glanced back at the person standing behind them, Ryan, whose eyes had been following her every move. Martina gently advised, "Ryan, please calm down a little. Then go and wait for me by my carriage." After saying that, she led Phoenix out. Before disappearing from view, he deliberately turned back, stuck out his tongue, and rolled his eyes to provoke him. The door closed with a heartlessly final sound. Inside the room, a gloomy Ryan gritted his teeth. He lowered his head, his hand slowly rising to clutch his chest. Ryan's heart ached, and a look of anguish filled his eyes. "She's angry now. Because I was too agitated, I wanted to kill all the dangerous people around her. I'm like a madman. Ever since the day I swore my loyalty to her, I've been dreaming of her constantly." A small figure in a large cloak ran forward, the wind gently blowing to reveal a head of red hair. That person turned around, the hood falling back, clearly revealing Martina's face. Ryan then jolted awake from the dream, sitting up and clutching his head. Was the person in my dream her? Why was her hair so short? Why does my chest ache dully whenever I'm away from her? Only fighting on the battlefield can soothe it. Is this the blood of the Sydney royal family? It grants me strength, but does it also turn me into a madman who can't control himself? Back to the present. Ryan quietly went to the window, watching the two figures walking side by side outside. He clenched his fists until they trembled to forget the pain. Only fighting on the battlefield can soothe it. Is this the blood of the Sydney royal family? It grants me strength, but does it also turn me into a madman who can't control himself? Back to the present. After seeing Phoenix off, Martina turned and came back, her face unable to hide a joyful smile. "I've taken on more and more mercenary missions. Only physical pain and cold showers can help me calm down. As for the sincere kiss, I'll figure that out later." Her gaze then landed on the person standing before her. Ryan stood there quietly watching her. She gently stepped forward to ask, "Ryan, have you calmed down now? I know that even though you've sworn loyalty to me, the blood of the Sydney royal family still flows within you. And you are still a prince. I respect your way of thinking." Before she could finish, Ryan suddenly grabbed her wrist, cutting her off. "It has nothing to do with my status. My lady, I want to belong to you, to submit to you. I want to be deeply connected with you. This body and soul belong only to you." Martina was completely shocked. Mark my name on him? What a strange request, but he seems so desperate. If this will help him feel a little better, then I guess I have to do it. With that thought, she took out a tube of lipstick and suggested, "I don't have a pen on me, so can we use this lipstick?" Then Ryan gripped Martina's hand tighter. "We don't need this." His eyes, filled with sorrow, met hers. "I don't want to use that. It will fade too quickly. And there won't be any trace left, I'm afraid. That I'll become a crazed monster." Martina furrowed her brow worriedly. "What's wrong with him?" Ryan lowered his head, resting it on her shoulder as he confessed, "I want a symbol. Even if I become a monster, even if I can't remember anything at all, as long as I see this symbol, I will remember you." His hand tightened on Martina's wrist, trembling, and she cried out in pain, "Let go! You're hurting my hand!" Startled, Ryan quickly let go. He lowered his head, his voice trembling. "I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I was so careless." Just then, Martina shoved him hard. Ryan stumbled, lost his balance, and fell backward. Martina looked down at him and asked, "You want something to cover up the pain?" Her hand reached over and snapped off a nearby rose. Martina leaned in close to Ryan, her cold eyes staring straight at him as she stressed, then only a more intense pain. "We'll do the trick. Where do you want me to write it?" Ryan pulled the left side of his shirt aside. His strong chest was revealed before her eyes. Ryan smiled, his voice firm, "Right here." Martina raised the tip of the rose stem. With intense focus, she carved each stroke into his skin, the cuts oozing bright red blood. Ryan stood perfectly still as she wrote each letter. Despite the pain, he bit his lip, refusing to let out even a single sound. Letter by letter, the name Martina was slowly etched onto him. She looked up at Ryan and asked, "Why aren't you crying out in pain?" He reached out and gently took the hand holding the rose stem from her. He tossed the flower to the ground and said with a reverent voice, "It's because this is what I deserve, but you should not have to endure such pain." He turned her hand over, revealing a few scratches from the thorns. Ryan lowered his head and licked away each drop of blood. He vowed, "As long as I live, I will never let you suffer even the slightest harm again." Martina watched him in silence. The prophet's consciousness appeared once more. Ryan Sidney has met the conditions. Both Pillar of the Empire and Loyal Heart have been fulfilled, but a notification reminds you that, for Pillars of the Empire who have confirmed their loyalty, the first kiss will transfer 100% of energy. However, from the second kiss onward, the energy transferred will be reduced to 50% of the previous amount. Reading this, Martina was thunderstruck with anger. "Why does it keep getting lower? Are you docking my points or something?" It replied defensively, "This is a rule established by the beasts and the first emperor. It's to encourage the heir to find more pillars of the empire and not put all their eggs in one basket." With that explanation, Martina had no choice but to accept it, even though her mind was a tangled mess. The sky that day was clear and blue, peeking from behind white clouds as birds soared freely before she got into the carriage. Martina stopped and told Ryan, I have something for you. This is my invitation. If you want to